More than 13,000 people were reported missing in New York City last year. While most are promptly found, hundreds of people become missing long term. Currently, there are 606 missing people in the state of New York. One of the missing, a 12-year-old girl who disappeared in the winter of 1983, has yet to be found. It's been 40 years, and that's way too long. Not only am I sure that her family and friends would like to, but the world would like to know what really happened to Sharaun Cole.
February, when we honored three great American leaders, Lincoln, Washington, and Crazy Eddie.
You couldn't turn on your TV without seeing a Crazy Eddie commercial. The Rubik's Cube was all the rage. Baby Come to Me by Patty Austin and James Ingram was the #1 song in America. And the top box office movie at the time was the film Tootsie, starring Dustin Hoffman.
And the guaranteed lowest prices. So see Crazy Eddie now. His prices are insane.
It was Friday, February 25th, 1983, while New Yorkers were still digging out from the metropolitan blizzard that happened 2 weeks prior. The Dow Jones Industrial Averages soared 24.87 points and finished at 1,121, marking its first close above the 1,100 level in history. That same day, Broadway dimmed its lights to pay tribute to the passing of playwright Tennessee Williams, while uptown in Washington Heights, a young girl sadly disappears. Sharaun Cole is her name. Born October 8, 1970. At the time, she would have been 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighing about 110 pounds. She's an African American female with black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a beige wool jacket, gold sweater, blue jeans, and blue and white sneakers. It was cloudy that day, with the temperature rising to a high of 43 degrees. The melting snow left the streets wet and slushy, but perfect for snowball making, and I'm sure the kids in the neighborhood were having a blast. Sharaun told her mom that she was going to the park, most likely to meet up with other kids and play. Their apartment building at 631 Edgecombe Avenue in Manhattan is right across from High Bridge Park, so I assume that's the park she was referring to. If that's true, her mom probably didn't think twice about it. It's right across the street, and they probably frequent the park often. What bothers me is the time. Sharaun went to the park at 5:30 p.m., which isn't late if it's summertime, but it was in the middle of the winter when it's dark outside. In those days in New York City, there was a lot of activity going on in the street. Someone, especially a child, could easily go unnoticed. Sharaun was last seen outside of her building and never heard from again. She was reported missing the following morning when she didn't return home. Sharaun's mom thought she spent the night at her godmother's house, which she claimed Sharaun often did. But when the godmother told her she hadn't seen or heard from her, that's when the report was made. During the investigation, Sharaun's mom insisted that Sharaun would never run away, but friends led the investigators to believe otherwise. They said that Sharaun had problems at home and that her and her mom didn't get along. That, plus a credible sighting of her 5 months later in July, put her being a runaway on the table. Two people who claimed they knew Sharaun saw her in a park down in Greenwich Village, still wearing the same clothes she went missing in, and looking dirty and confused. Why they couldn't help her at the time, who knows, but investigators came up with nothing from that lead. Usually an investigation of this nature starts with the family and friends, then work its way out. Sharaun's father had passed away prior to her disappearance, eliminating that angle. Her mom cooperated in the beginning of the investigation, but as time passed, refused to talk about it anymore. During that era, a lot of kids went missing in New York City, with Eton Pates being the most known. His case has come to a resolution, but many others have not. So to those who may have seen, remember something, or have any information on Sharaun's case, please call 1-800-THE-LOST or the New York City Police Department at 212-694-7781. You can refer to case number KNMP02618. We would like to finally bring this story to a conclusion and find out what really happened to Sharaun Cole.